Hi students, in this session we will discuss about the relation between Laplace transform and Fourier transform, and then I will go for inverse Laplace transform. Okay, already in the last class I had explained the relation between Fourier transform and Laplace transform. Now for that explanation I will give the equation format in this class. So today we are going to discuss about a relation between Laplace transform and Fourier transform. Okay, so first we'll go to explain about this one. Okay, already I have explained the relation between Laplace transform and Fourier transform. Now I go for the equation format of those things. Okay, for that first we have to consider the Laplace transform of x of t. So we already know the equation for Laplace transform of x of t. So that is Laplace transform of x of t, which is nothing but capital X of s, which is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e power minus st dt. So this is the formula of Laplace transform, and we all know here s is nothing but sigma plus j omega. Okay, we know s will be equal to sigma plus j omega. So substitute this sigma plus j omega in the above equation, then that will become x of sigma plus j omega will be equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t into e power minus of sigma plus j omega into t dt. Clear? Now that will be equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t into so this one e power minus sigma t into e power minus j omega t dt. That will be equal to, here keep these two as separate, that is x of t into e power minus sigma t as one thing, that is see integral minus infinity to infinity x of t into e power minus sigma t into e power minus j omega t dt. Just I kept these two as separate thing. Okay, so these two combinedly treat as a signal. Okay, something. Now integral minus infinity to infinity some signal into e power minus j omega t dt is the formula for Fourier transform of that signal. Simply integral minus infinity x of t into e power minus sigma t into e power minus j omega t dt will give the Fourier transform of x of t into e power minus sigma t. X of t into e power minus sigma t. Simply, so finally you can get x of this one. Simply you can write x of s. X of s is nothing but the Laplace transform. So x of s will be equal to integral minus infinity x of t e power minus sigma t e power minus j omega dt. So this is nothing but Fourier transform of x of t into e power minus sigma t. So you can write like this. So here this is Fourier transform of x of t into e power minus sigma t. Okay, simple. Now x of omega is the Fourier transform of x of t. Okay, Fourier transform of x of t, that is if sigma equal to 0, e power 0, that is 1. Okay, 1 into x of t, that is Fourier transform of x of t. So which is nothing but capital X of omega. So if sigma value equal to 0, automatically this will become as a Fourier transform of x of t, which is nothing but capital X of omega. So I can conclude like this. So here x of omega will be equal to x of s when sigma is equal to 0. Actually, where we find sigma? In terms of s. So s equal to sigma plus j omega, and if this sigma equal to 0, then the Fourier transform of x of t will be equal to the Laplace transform of x of t. So I am writing the Fourier transform of x of t, that is x of omega equal to x of s at sigma equal to 0. As sigma equal to 0, the s value will be equal to j omega, that is x of omega equal to x of s at s equal to j omega. S equal to j omega. This is the relation, and we can get these two. These two are very, that is Laplace transform of x of t is nothing but the Fourier transform of x of t into e power minus sigma t. If sigma equal to 0, then it will become as Fourier transform of x of t, which is nothing but x of omega. So x of omega equal to x of s at sigma equal to 0. Sigma equal to 0 means s equal to j omega. So x of omega equal to x of s at s equal to j omega. So this is nothing but the relation between Laplace transform and Fourier transform. A simple relation between Laplace transform and Fourier transform. Okay. See, here we have many important points. That is, for many signals, if the Fourier transform does not exist, but Laplace transform exists. That is, Laplace transform exists for most of the signals for which Fourier transform does not exist, because of this factor e power minus sigma t. So because of this sigma, see, in Fourier transform we have only j omega, that is the imaginary parts. So for most of the signals are not completely integrable, absolutely integrable. That is, for most of the signals we don't find the Fourier transforms, but whereas come to Laplace transform, we are using a complex variable s, which is a combination of both real and imaginary. Because of this real sigma parts, we can get the Laplace transform of most of the signals for which Fourier transform does not exist. So we can get Laplace transform for most of the signals for which Fourier transform does not exist, because here we have the parameter of sigma. Okay, with this parameter we can get the Laplace transform. Okay, in the coming classes we will get a concept called a region of convergence. So this region of convergence mainly dependent on this factor sigma. Okay, or nothing but this is a real part of s. So based on the real part of s, we will get the region of convergence of this Laplace transform. Okay, I will explain in the coming classes. Okay, now this is the relation between Laplace transform and Fourier transform. Simply, first I had taken the equation of Laplace transform of x of t, which is nothing but x of s equal to the Riemann infinity x of t e power minus st dt. And we all know s is equal to sigma plus j omega. So substitute its value as sigma plus j omega. So x of sigma plus j omega equal to, in place of s, sigma plus j omega, and then simplified. Okay, I expanded this one, and from that I separated these two. Okay, so see, integral minus infinity some signal into e power minus j omega t dt is nothing but the Fourier transform of that signal. So Fourier transform, this one is nothing but the Laplace transform of x of t. So here if sigma equal to 0, simply automatically I can get this as a Fourier transform of x of t. Fourier transform of x of t is represented with x of omega. So x of omega equal to x of s at sigma equal to 0, or simply if sigma equal to 0, s will be equal to j omega. So x of omega equal to x of s at s equal to j omega. So this is the relation between Laplace transform and Fourier transform. Now we will go for inverse Laplace transform. We will go for inverse Laplace transform. We will go for inverse Laplace transform. Okay. Now, how can you get this inverse Laplace transform? Simple. First of all, we all know this one. What is this one? X of s equal to, that is, from here we all know the Laplace transform of x of t is equal to Fourier transform of x of t into e power minus sigma t. So already proved it. Okay. Now what is the x of t into, from this equation, if I want to get x of t into e power minus sigma t, so from this equation, x of t into e power minus sigma t will be equal to, so bring this side, then it will become as inverse. It will become as inverse. That is inverse Fourier transform of x of s. Inverse Fourier transform of x of s. X of t into e power minus sigma t equal to inverse Fourier transform of x of s. Inverse Fourier transform of x of s. Okay, simply x of t into e power minus sigma t. If you bring this side, so that is inverse Fourier transform of x of s, and that will be equal to, already s value is sigma plus j omega. So inverse Fourier transform of x of sigma plus j omega. X of sigma plus j omega. And we all know the inverse Fourier transform formula. So what is the formula for inverse Fourier transform? That is 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity, the signal, that is x of sigma plus j omega, x of sigma plus j omega into e power j omega t d omega. So this is the inverse Fourier transform formula. We all know the inverse Fourier transform of x of omega is nothing but the 1 by 2 pi integral minus into infinity x of omega into e power j omega t d omega. So in place of x of omega, I have x of sigma plus j omega. So I substituted x of sigma plus j omega. Now this is e power minus sigma t. So I can write it as x of t by e power sigma t. X of t by e power sigma t. So if you want to bring that other side of this equation, so what happens? Then the value of x of t equal to, so denominator of this x of t is e power sigma t. So cross multiply. X of t equal to, so x of t equal to, so if it goes to the side, what happens? E power sigma t. E power sigma t into 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity x of sigma plus j omega into e power j omega t d omega. Okay, simple. So this is the x of t. Now that will be equal to 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity. So if bring that e power sigma t inside of the integral, that will become as x of sigma plus j omega into e power sigma t into e power j omega t. E power sigma t into e power j omega t. I can directly write as e power sigma t plus j omega t d omega. I can directly write like this, and that will be equal to, so t can be taken as common, that is e power sigma plus j omega into t. Can write like this. So here this will be equal to 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity x of sigma plus j omega e power sigma plus j omega into t d omega. E power sigma plus j omega into t d omega. Okay, so this is the one, that is the value of x of t. Here sigma plus j omega value is nothing but s. Here we all know sigma plus j omega equal to s. Sigma plus j omega equal to s. That implies, if you go for the differentiation, that is, we can write this is a constant 0, and it implies j into d omega equal to ds. J into d omega equal to ds, or simply we can write d omega equal to ds by j. So in place of d omega I can write ds by j, and in place of sigma plus j omega I can write s. So finally the value of x of t will be equal to 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity x of s e power st into ds by j. Actually I had to write ds by j, so I will bring that j outside of this one integral, that is 1 by 2 pi j. So instead of writing j here, I am writing outside of the integral. So finally I got x of t is equal to 1 by 2 pi j integral minus infinity x of s into e power st ds. So this is the formula for inverse Laplace transform. So whenever they are given the Laplace transform of an equation, from that you can get the original signal, that is x of t, by using this formula, that is the inverse Laplace transform formula. So this is inverse Laplace transform formula. So simple. How you got that inverse Laplace transform formula? First, I had consider x of s. We all know here x of s, from this relation between Laplace transform and Fourier transform, I got x of s equal to Fourier transform of x of t into e power minus sigma t. Okay, so I need x of t into e power minus sigma t. That can be written as inverse Fourier transform of x of s. That will be equal to inverse Fourier transform of x of, in place of s I had written sigma plus j omega. Okay, that will be equal to, now I am using inverse Fourier transform formula, that is 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity capital X of sigma plus j omega into e power j omega t d omega. So I had taken the inverse Fourier transform formula, and then that will be equal to x of t. So here this is e power minus sigma t, that is 1 by e power sigma t. So if I go that side, it will become as e power sigma t into 1 by 2 pi integral, the same one. Okay, so I taken this to the inside the integral, and I taken sigma plus j omega common. So finally I got this equation. So in this equation I am substituting sigma plus j omega as s, because we know sigma plus j omega is equal to s. So whenever sigma plus j omega equal to s, that implies j into d omega will be equal to ds, or d omega equal to ds by j. So if you replace this with s, then d omega will be replaced with ds by j. So finally x of t will be equal to 1 by 2 pi j integral minus infinity x of s e power st ds. So this is the formula for inverse Laplace transform. Okay, so in this class I explained you two topics, that is a relation between Laplace transform and Fourier transform, how these two are related, and then what is the formula for inverse Laplace transform. So by using this inverse Laplace transform, I can find the original signal x of t whenever the Laplace transform is given. See, here everything is given in terms of s. So here this Laplace transform is in s domain. S domain, that is it consists of real and imaginary parts, which is sigma and j omega. So in this s domain, the x-axis is the sigma axis, real one is the x-axis, and the y-axis is the j omega axis. So here in this Laplace transform, we will go with respect to the s domain. This s domain, this is s domain, where this is x-axis with respect to sigma and the y-axis is with respect to j omega. So this is nothing but s domain. Okay, generally here we won't get the frequency response, we get the plot of zeros and poles in this plot of poles. Okay, instead of frequency response we get the plot of poles in this. Okay, now so if I want to conclude this, the relation between Laplace transform and Fourier transform is this one, that is x of s is equal to Fourier transform of x of t into e power minus sigma t. Okay, that is nothing but x of omega will be equal to x of s at s equal to j omega. So these two are the conclusions of the first part, and for the second part the conclusion is inverse Laplace transform formula is, so x of t will be equal to 1 by 2 pi j integral minus infinity to infinity x of s into e power st ds. So this is the formula for inverse Laplace transform. Okay, with this I am finishing today's class. Okay, thank you one and all.